One man cannot have this level of power. We were just doing our job, didn't work in World War II, eventually from the outside forces or even the inside forces from the civilians. Things will come to a halt. And at that time, people will be held accountable. Ladies and gentlemen, this is mobilization in Russia, panic, protest, and people leaving. Okay, this was channel NFKRZ. I know the full form, but I don't think I can say it. Yeah, you never know. So yeah, first of all, this is just fucked up, right? I didn't realize about this until a few days afterwards. I'm like, god damn, alright. Apparently I don't keep up with news. And then I saw that, this channel uploaded a video about it, like, hell yeah, I have to watch this. I like this channel for any, news from that, war, Russia, Ukraine area, because, yeah, I mean, he covers it good, I guess, right? He's a good creator for that. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see this. I mean, obviously, there were going to be protests and panic. I mean, this is 21st century, right? There's 2022. I don't even know what to say to this, man. Look, mobilization only makes sense if you are defending your country. Not directly, but in any way. There were, drafts and mobilization in World War II because Hitler eventually threatened everybody, right? I mean, obviously, I'm talking about in principle, how drafts and mobilization should work. Like, Hitler threatened everybody. So even if people weren't directly invaded, they knew that eventually they're going to get invaded, so they have to stop him now. That was the case. Ukraine is not going to invade anybody now or in the future. So I don't understand. They are not. Russia is not on defense. They are in offense. So obviously people are going to be pissed off. Like, why the fuck are you talking about mobilization, right? Even in the Vietnam time, right? I mean, the thought there was that, Soviet Union eventually get so bigger, they will threaten everybody eventually. So we are fighting this war in a defense. Then the drafts happen, right? I don't know, man. Damn, I can't even process what's going through their mind, right? Any able-bodied person, man, can women get drafted too this time? I don't know. This is the modern age. In the past, they couldn't. Now, I don't know. But yeah, obviously, there's going to be panic. Alright, let's waste one.
This is your boy Roman, your favorite neighborhood Russian. Hi guys, doing today? Welcome to a brand new video. In today's video, guys, we're gonna be talking about the mobilization in Russia and why everybody is trying to leave. Yet again, guys, this video is gonna be uploaded like 5 days after the actual news broke out, because honestly, I've been trying to collect myself to record this video for the last 2 days, but I just couldn't because I feel fucking awful, I'm not gonna lie. So yeah, I'm pretty sure all of you already know the news. I don't even need to tell you what happened. The Russian government, the Russian State Duma have added such terms as martial law, wartime, and mobilization into the Russian criminal code. And then one day later, Putin came out with a speech and address on live TV saying that he's announcing a partial mobilization in the Russian Federation. Partial mobilization in the Russian Federation. You guys finish the rest of the rap in the comments. Anyway, Putin once again gave a classic speech saying how the West is, threatening to destroy Russia, and essentially announcing a so-called partial mobilization, according to which people with prior military experience or people who have served in the army could...
Wait a second. Oh, right. That's what's going on, right? Putin is thinking that, I mean, I don't know if he's really thinking or he's saying that or using that as a justification, that West is basically arming themselves. They are having bases in Ukraine or something, because there was a news, right, that they destroyed US bases there or something. I don't know if that's true or not. But the point is, that's what he's thinking, like, eventually will be threatened and invaded. So that's why this is for defense. Is that what the argument is here? Okay, I can see if he uses that as a thing to call mobilize and draft, but it's still bad. I mean, there's a layers of things, right? Something has to make sense at certain level. If the things are too far-fetched, how is it going to work? I guess you don't have to answer to anyone, right? You can do whatever you want. That's what's happening.
Be drafted to go to Ukraine. Then later, the Russian Minister of Defense, Sergei Shoigu, also came out saying that in the first wave of the draft, they're gonna draft 300,000 people, and there's gonna be multiple waves. So yeah, the Russian government basically said that this mobilization is very limited, it's only gonna affect like soldiers, you guys shouldn't worry about anything. Honestly, I could go into detail, but I don't think it really matters, because first of all, none of the things that have been said verbally by Russian government representatives are actually in the decree that Putin signed. The decree that he signed signed about the mobilization actually doesn't specify who's gonna be mobilized, so the decree basically allows anybody to get mobilized. And also, there's been pretty decently big protests in Russia right after this mobilization was announced, and the men who got arrested at the protest are being given mobilization like draft letters. So basically, if you go to protest against the mobilization, if you get arrested, you get mobilized. And this is not some speculation, by the way.
Yeah, doesn't the US, or I think US, right, has had this, I don't know when it was, but if you get arrested, you got drafted automatically in military, I guess, instead of your sentence. That was the thing. I guess they're using that kind of mentality here. If you're arrested, you're a criminal. And if you're a criminal, I guess you can be used for draft, I guess. I don't know.
Putin's press secretary Peskov has said that drafting people who've been arrested at protests actually doesn't break the law in any way, and it's completely legal. So yeah, I don't think it really matters, and not like the Russian government at this point has a very good track record of telling the truth. I mean, literally, some Kremlin spokespeople were saying that there's not gonna be any mobilization like 1-2 days before the mobilization actually was announced. So yeah, there's a reason why everybody in Russia right now is—
I don't want to pause too much, but only scenario I'm thinking of, that nobody knows besides Putin what Putin is going to do at that point. He doesn't let anyone know, right? He's like, oh, there's not going to be mobilized. In 1 or 2 days, Putin like, yeah, okay, there's going to be mobilized. That guy's like, what the fuck, man? Just 2 days ago I said there's not going to be any. I guess he was out of the loop.
Especially men, because women can be mobilized as well if they're like doctors and stuff, by the way. This is why everybody is literally shitting their pants right now. And even though I'm out of Russia currently, I worry for my friends and my family, you know, it's fucked up. Let's not forget about the fact that Putin also always said that he's never gonna change the constitution, which he did. Putin also said that he will never raise the retirement age, which he did. I mean, I'm gonna be sitting here for like 3 hours naming everything, but you know what I'm getting at. And as far as the way the mobilization is actually going, there's already a ton of videos online of like people being taken away, of people saying goodbyes to their, you know, husbands, fathers. There's been reports that apparently about 5 military draft centers, basically that's the center where they do the medical checkup and basically like actually direct you where you're gonna go. 5 of those offices were lit on fire in Russia, actually. The Russian government also announced that they're gonna be giving out Russian citizenships to migrants who live and work in Russia that are gonna be volunteering to go and fight in Ukraine. I mean, I don't know what the fuck is going on, honestly, but all I know is this is a troubling time for everybody. Look, I got a cousin who's 1 year younger than me.
Look, man. So clearly Russia is not winning the war. If they are saying that we are going to give to citizenship to anyone, any migrants who are living there, we need soldiers. Clearly it's not going well. I mean, that's what this shows. But damn, this is just fucked up.
Love him to death. He's my brother, okay? Good guy too. He's in a conscript army right now. He was actually just about to get demobilized. You know, like finish his service in like 2 months or something. And now I don't even know what's gonna happen, honestly. Most of my friends back in Russia, they're all young guys my age. And the thing is, some of my friends did move in March when everything started initially, like I did. But not everybody can afford it. Going to another country and even getting the tickets and renting an apartment is quite expensive. So not everybody could afford it. But now even those of my friends who can't afford it are doing it. And well, let's just say I am trying to help my friends right now, and I think I'm gonna have like 10 refugees living in my apartment in the next month. And the amount of people that started leaving immediately after this was announced and immediately after Putin's address was insane. Literally in like hours after his address, all the direct flight tickets to Yerevan, Armenia, and Istanbul, Turkey were bought out. And there's been reports of like tickets to Belgrade, Serbia going for over $10,000 a pop. Also, a few fun facts. In Russia, on Google, right after the announcement of the mobilization, some of the top searches were how to leave Russia, where to leave Russia without having a foreign passport.
Oh my god.
And even...
Alright, look. First of all, especially for him, right? Can a Russian government just say, like, first of all, they're gonna put out drafts based on citizens that are registered there, right? I mean, governments cannot be that accurate. So, obviously, him and other people, right now they're leaving. What if they put out drafts? They don't show up for the drafts. They go and check and they're no longer in Russia to begin with. What if they just say, like, these people are traitor because they left the country when the country needed them most, and just brands them traitors so they can never come back to Russia? So Roman here and other people like him, what if they can never go back because of this? What if their name shows up in draft? I mean, it's not far-fetched to think they could do that. This is just fucked up, man.
how to break an arm. Yeah, because if you break an arm or a leg or something like that, you're not being taken to the army, so insane. And also, there's actually been a downsurge in the amount of online Counter-Strike Global Offensive players, because apparently Russians are getting drafted, so those who play CSGO are playing CSGO in real life right now. Oh man, this is just so fucked up. It's so bad. Pretty much every single country that borders with Russia that has visa-free entrance to Russia...
Wait a minute, is that... What if their mentality is... Like Russian governments are monitoring, and if you're playing CSGO, they just think that they like war, they like guns, and you get the draft. What if that's their mentality? So everybody's just like, okay, fuck it. Let's not play any war-like games. Damn, that could be it.
Has basically a shit show going on at the border right now, because there's a lot of photos online of the border between Kazakhstan and Russia, for example, where the lines have stretched like 15 kilometers from people just trying to leave Russia for Kazakhstan. Same thing is happening in Georgia as well. As I'm recording this video right now, there's like a 15-kilometer traffic jam at the border of people trying to get into Georgia. I mean, it's absolutely fucking insane. And I want to say this, a lot of people are making fun of all the Russians trying to leave Russia right now, essentially saying that, oh, you guys are fucking all Z, you know, you all support Putin, why are you trying to leave your beautiful country? Go die for Russia, you know? And I understand, yeah, it's funny, and honestly, if it's Ukrainians saying that, yeah, I get it. But honestly, I think it's just kind of wrongful to group everybody who's trying to leave right now together. I understand the idea of like a fucking Z patriot who, you know, roots for Russia, you know, he's like, fuck Ukraine, fuck all you motherfuckers. And when Russia announces the mobilization, and this guy who's like a patriot can actually go to Ukraine and now show those Ukrainians what's for, you know, he actually becomes a pussy and tries to leave and just dips, you know? Yeah, that's a really funny idea. And honestly,
yeah, look, I think it's wrong to think that every Russians, I would be surprised even if the majority of Russians support this war, right? I don't care what polls is or whatever, right? I highly doubt that. Look, I can shun a government, I can shun a certain people, but I would never believe an entire mass of people that lives in Russia support this war or, you know, okay with doing something like this. So obviously that's not true, right? Not all Russians are going to be okay for this. But at the same time, like he said, all those people who went to those rallies with the Z flag and they're like, yeah, we are Russians, yeah, we like this or whatever. Imagine if they get drafted and they're like, oh, fuck this, we are going out. That would be so fucked up. Damn. I mean, I bet that's going to happen. It's all okay to, you know, support a country by going to the protests and going on your way back, I guess, going to that McDonald's lookalike and just eat a burger and go to home and sleep. And it's whole another thing to actually join the war. So they are going to run away, right? Not all of them, but yeah. Some of them are going to be really happy about getting, you know, drafted because there are people who are going to be like that. But yeah.
That there's thousands of people like that right now. For sure, of course. We all know it's easy to be a warrior and a soldier when you're sitting on your fucking couch in front of the TV Russian propaganda, you know? Of course. But when it's your turn to die, nobody wants to do it, sure. Those people obviously exist. But there's just honestly a lot of people in Russia, first of all, that just cannot afford to leave. And this is like a big thing for me, honestly, because I have really good friends who have the most progressive, pro-Western mindset ever. And they would have left months ago if they could, but they just cannot afford it. And now it's like gotten to the point where they're ready to spend their last money to do it, basically. Are these people down for not leaving earlier? I don't know. And honestly, I feel like a lot of people just don't have good enough foresight, because I think I'm like really into politics. I've been closely following everything that's going on with Russia for the last probably 8 years at least. And like, I can see where this is going. When I was leaving, I knew this might happen. So, you know, I dodged the bullet, literally, but not everybody has no life like me and just sits reading about politics all day, okay? And news and shit. And a lot of people just realize...
Look, man, I think, you know, I don't think you can predict shit ever, right? It's always a gamble. So foresight is for gambling mentality, I guess. There's a reason why there was a superhero character in South Park. I don't know, who was that? Something foresight, right? Who just said, you should have done this, you should have done that, and just goes up and everybody just claps. So foresight is always a gamble in a way. So people always gonna have this kind of a thing like, come on, it cannot go that bad. Alright, fine, this is happening. Fine, this special operation happened. Fine, there is a war. But eventually something will dial back. Eventually some treaty will be signed. Eventually everything will go down. Nobody's going to think that this is going to be like World War II scenario where people are going to mobilize, draft, or I'll have to fight or something. Nobody's really going to think that. So they didn't live, right? I don't know. Even if you're following the news and following all the politics, yeah, you're not gonna, you can't know what a person is thinking in power, right?
The severity of the entire situation only now. So yeah, it's a bit dumb, but I feel like it's a good wake-up call for those people, you know? I feel like with this mobilization announcement, a lot of people's minds are changing right now, and that's actually really good. But that's probably one of the only good things that will come out of this. One thing that I was also thinking about that's really on my mind lately is that this influx of people might actually really mess with a lot of the Russians who have left Russia a bit earlier. Because honestly, here's the thing, like I live in Georgia, right? This is a country Russia has invaded before, but nevertheless, it's a country that has visa-free entry for Russians, so you can stay here for an entire year. That's crazy. And I'm just super grateful for Georgia and for Georgian people for being hospitable and for allowing me to have a fucking life somewhere, you know? I'll literally remember this shit till I die, like straight up. Tbilisi is in here forever. But quite honestly, I do feel like with this influx of people now, the attitudes of the people are gonna change. And quite honestly, already being Russian and living in Georgia, I low-key feel uneasy a lot of the time. Not in the sense that people are assaulting me or something like that. Not at all. It's just inside of me. I feel uneasy because I know I come from a country that did a lot of bad shit to this country, and so many Russians coming here, it's very anxiety inducing for a lot of Georgians. It's not only that the influx of new people have driven the rent prices up here, but also just due to the fact that there's honestly too many of us here, and there's gonna be way more, and honestly, I would not be surprised if people are gonna be like, we had enough, and that's well within their rights, and I feel bad about it because I feel like I'm contributing to the problem, you know?
Yeah, I mean, nobody's gonna have soft spot for Russians, because at the top of everything, Russia is the one who's attacking Ukraine, right? So if there were Ukrainians, I mean, it's people like, okay, we understand you. Even then, people won't understand, but still. But if they're Russian, yeah, people are gonna be pissed. I can see that. Damn, this is just fuck. Look, man, here's the thing I'm gonna say. One man cannot have this level of power, right? I mean, in the end, chain of command also comes into play. We were just doing our job, didn't work in World War II with the Germans at the time, right? And we were doing our jobs, is not going to work for anybody ever, even today with this, right? So eventually, either from the outside force, this might escalate at a level eventually from the outside forces, or even the inside forces from the civilians. Things will, things will come to a halt. And at the time, people will be held accountable, right? And you can't just say, oh, I was afraid, I was just following my job. That didn't work before, it's not going to work right now. So this draft and war thing, right? I mean, what is the chain of command doing at this point? Only thing I have to think that they are okay with this, they are fine with this. At that point, then everybody is at fault here then. Everybody in the chain of command. Because this is just fucked up. If your people are protesting and actually leaving, the biggest search at that point is how to leave Russia. You know you're doing something that your people don't want. And at the point, why are you doing that? You're serving your people. That's the point of government.
I put this on my Instagram story earlier, how I'm like a fucking cockroach, essentially, that's just infesting countries that are not Russia, and now these people have to deal with me being here. Like, I feel bad about it, man. And now with so many more Russians coming here, I don't know. I don't think the people here are gonna be very happy, and that, in my opinion, might be some bad news for Russians living here, especially Russians like myself, who can't really go back to Russia, although that's kind of like every Russian now. I thought I was special, honestly, you know? But now everybody can go back, bro. And by the way, I don't want to sound like I'm condescending or anything, like, oh, I'm a Russian who moved here in March. First of all, not only am I more woke, but second of all, I've also been here for longer, so you motherfuckers don't ruin this shit for me. No, not like that at all. I understand what kind of shit people are going through and why they're doing it. But nevertheless, all I'm saying is that this huge influx of Russians into Georgia, Kazakhstan, Armenia, etc., it might make the people living in those countries not very happy. So yeah, man, I mean, I don't really know what else to say here. It's just a completely fucked situation. I don't know what the hell is going on. Like, I definitely think now, looking in retrospect, that I obviously made the right decision. Like I said in my last video, if you haven't seen it, I've left Russia 6 months ago. Like some people in the comments said, I quite literally dodged the bullet, literally. I also want to address this. I've gotten a lot of comments from you guys saying that, so Roman was gonna
again, like I'm saying, what if they brand you traitor and you can never come back to Russia, right? I mean, I don't know, but in the end it is still better than going to a war and I guess facing bullets, right? I don't know.
to you, can you get drafted, can you get mobilized, etc, etc. Well, technically, yeah. I mean, since they're taking people at protests who are just like 18-year-old zoomers who have never had any military experience, of course anything could happen at this point. There's no rule of law, there's no logic, there's nothing. But will they? First of all, I think it's unlikely, because the way it works is that the people who have been drafted had a health ranking of A, mostly. Let me explain it really quick. In Russia, basically, when you go to the military draft office and you get your medical checkup, you get like a health ranking. A means you're like completely healthy, ready to serve Russia. B means you're fit to serve, but you have some health limitations. V, which is like C, the third letter of the Russian alphabet, means that you're not fit to serve because of your medical conditions, but you could be sent to the army in case of mobilization or martial law, something like that. And there's G, which is like, it means that you're not fit to serve at all, like if you're disabled or something. So yeah, apparently right now, most of the people that have been drafted so far, that have been sent letters that you're being drafted and mobilized, those people have been with the ranking A. Actually, one of my friends who lives in Georgia now, who's Russian as well, he's actually ranking A, and he has served in the army, so he actually got it. And he's here in Georgia, so he's not coming back at all. Me though, I haven't served in the army. I have a video about that, you can watch it. I actually have asthma, and due to that I got the category V, which is not fit to serve because of health conditions, but could be drafted in case of martial law, which Russia didn't enact, by the way. So realistically not right now, but in the future, who knows, maybe.
Come on, man, you just said that there is no logic. Do you really think that if you count at B, they're not gonna branch you at A again? Like, oh yeah, we changed the rules to that, you're A, come back to the army. They're not gonna do that, come on.
But once again, I have zero plans of going back to Russia in any foreseeable future, so I guess I don't care. So that's one thing I'm happy about, obviously, not being there right now, that's good. But yeah, just a lot of things to be anxious and a lot of things to be worried about right now. Anyways guys, yeah, I know once again this video was also kind of like the last video, random as fuck, just me rambling, but it is what it is. Insane times right now, so everybody out there, I hope you're staying safe, you know, health to you, your family, your loved ones, and let's hope that none of you guys have ever have to experience this bullshit. All of you motherfuckers watching this video right now, every single day of your life you should be thanking the Lord for not having been born in the ex-Soviet Union. I swear to fucking God. Anyways guys, yeah, thank you so much for watching this video though. If you guys did enjoy it, then please make sure to slap the like on it. As well guys, if you want to support me, additionally, then go over to...
Yeah. Look, in India, I honestly think, and I could be colossally wrong here, but in India, if anything like this happens, any government basically forces people to mobilize, I bet there are going to be protests at a level that it will literally disband the government before anything like this happen, right? Military versus people, there are a lot of people here, and a lot of people always are vocal in India. That's why any government is in place tries to make sure that enough people are happy at least, right? Because it can't go any other way. That's the thing. So in India, this cannot happen because people will be pissed at a level, it would be a record of protest. But yeah, damn. Seriously, man, this is just fucked up. I don't even know what to think, right? You know, it's one thing to sympathize, but you know, to empathize, you really have to put your mind at other people's shoes, right? And really think this through. And when you do that, you just realize how fucked up it is, right? For the both countries. Yeah, there was a quote, I don't know exact quote or exact words for it, but the war is basically young people dying for old people's ambition or something like that, right? Which is kind of a complete accurate. But like I said, we were just doing our jobs is not going to work. In the end, one man cannot have this level of power. Doesn't matter where that one man is, right? So yeah, what is the chain of command doing? What is the people at really top, which are part of the chain of command, doing at this point? Obviously, they're okay with it. I know people can say like they're afraid of their life, but you joined militarized sector, right? This level of sector. At that point, you cannot just say I was afraid. You shouldn't have joined that in the first place. You should have become a doctor or something. If you're part of the chain of command, you have responsibilities, right? I mean, people are protesting. That's their responsibility. They are protesting, sure. See, they did that thing. What are you doing in the chain of command? This is just fucked up. Damn. I feel for all the people, man. Seriously. I mean, this is really think about getting drafted and facing bullets, right? God. And, you know, Ukrainians are fighting, every single citizens are fighting, and there's more mobilization happening. What is going to be end goal? Wiping entire Ukraine out? Only women and children left? What is going to happen? right? Like 90% of the people die and then they surrender. Even if that happens, what's going to happen to Russia in the end? What is going to be, spreadsheet? Let's put what happened. 90% of the male population is dead. Is that what's going to be the... Nothing is going to make Russia look good after this, right? So I don't even know what the goal is here, but this is just fucked up, right? I'm afraid of one thing. Like I said, nothing's going to make Russia look good. So they might go forward thinking, okay, we look worse already, might as well go on. That's the only defense we have. So they might expand and expand and expand back to the Soviet Union level and become this big threat that escalates to even bigger global war in next 8-9 years. Because people really need to think about how all the wars have worked in the past. Wars escalate for many years before it's a proper big ass war, and global war. In the current world of everything moving fast, we really don't think about that. But when you see history, you realize like certain thing escalates for 5, 6, 7 years before it's a mega war. So yeah, I mean, right now this isn't the topic that is dominating news because news apparently moves to something else. But this is still happening, man. This mobilization just put people's mind to that spotlight again. Like, holy shit, this is still going on. This is going on at a high level. It's not winding down. Damn. Right, people, there was mobilization in Russia, panic protests, people leaving the channel NFKRZ. Seriously, go to this channel. There's an original video link in the description. Go to this channel and support it because it really does need support. He's a great creator. And yeah, I'll see you next time.